Open up on 7.
Why is cell number 7 at the end of the hallway? This robot passed about a dozen other cell doors before coming to this one. And apparently cell number 7 is not even a cell, since there are more cell doors inside Shiv's cell.
Move it out, Shiv.
Also, a prisoner named Shiv. Oh, very original. Even in a cartoonish science fiction world, I'm still going to send a prison guard for removing the restraints from a prisoner for no good reason. Unless there was a solar flare that corresponded to the opening of that cell door, there is no way it would have been that bright. It's not like Shiv is coming out of a dark cave. He was in a brightly lit corridor. His eyes don't need time to adjust. I'm pretty sure placing cucumbers over your eyes will lose all therapeutic benefits if you don't first remove your mask. Is Quark really the first prisoner here? The 001 on his chest would suggest so. Also, do they have to use heavy CRT monitors to display their ID number? That can easily be accomplished with a name tag or stitched into their prison uniform.
I used to dream of being arrested by you!
How does someone who clearly idolizes a former hero turn to a life of crime and still idolize said hero, but only now from the perspective of being arrested by him? That is a level of cuck I can't even grasp.
I'm a huge fan. I even pre-ordered the new Ratchet Clank holo game.
Pre-ordering.
The what?
You know, the game based on that incident with you and that Lombax.
Oh, you must mean the holo film. Yeah, it's pretty good, if you like all CG.
How would you know? You've been in prison. How could you have gone to see it? Also, according to Rotten Tomatoes, the Ratchet & Clank movie has an 18% freshness rating.
Yeah, it's pretty good, if you like all CG.
I really don't even know where to start with that line. After all, the art style of this series was clearly inspired by CG movies. And now that it has a CG movie of its own, they make jokes about it, even though that is literally the only way you could make a movie about this franchise. And then there's the question as to why the movie Quark is talking about would be done in CG instead of live action. For us, it makes sense that furry space aliens would be CG. For them, that is their actual reality.
They're making a game based on a holofilm based on my life?
I've never seen a story make an argument about how ridiculous its own premise is.
No. No one will ever hear my side.
Also, if the game is based on a movie, then there is no need to be so worried about its content if you were alright with a movie to begin with. Games based on movies are just cash-ins. That goes for this game's fiction and reality.
I'd like to hear your side, Captain.
It's at this point that I realize that Shiv's only reason for being brought to Quark's cell is so Quark will have someone to tell a story to. And Quark only started telling his story once he heard about the game based on the movie based on the game. So why did he have Shiv brought to his cell in the first place?
It all started with a hapless Lombax named Ratchet.
And what's more, if Quark is worried about his side of the story, why does he tell a story completely focused on Ratchet? And how is Quark retelling parts of the story that he wasn't even present for?
Where do you think you're going?
It's really easy to sneak up on someone when you were spawned off camera.
I don't suppose you sneaking out would have anything to do with those Galactic Ranger tryouts?
I just need 1 hour.
I don't really know why Ratchet is in such a rush to get to the tryouts. It's literally going on right outside the garage.
My name is Copernicus Quark, and yes, that was an impressive wall of fire I just walked past.
Captain Quark is the combination of Zap Brannigan from Futurama and the Tick. A downright disturbing combination.
Plus there's your history to consider.
Got a long line of citations here. Possession of an illegal gravity repulsor.
Operation of a black market accelerator.
Willful disruption of the space-time continuum.
That is a funny story.
And sounds way more interesting than the plot of this game.
You're reckless, you're a loose cannon, and you're dangerous.
Quark is apparently an 80s police chief captain.
Dr. Nefarious, the mad scientist who made all of this possible.
Is this your first time meeting him? He's been working for you presumably for a while, so I'd imagine introductions like this are more of a first week on the job kind of deal.
Mad suggests cognitive impairment. I'm more of a vengeful scientist.
I would also consider the title Poorly Lit Scientist.
Defect detected. Preparing for immediate destruction.
Clank is a defect killbot. However, considering he's only 10% of the size of a killbot and possesses a completely different personality, I fail to see how he could come off the assembly line as just an accident. He's a completely different model at this point.
There you are!
If you watch the movie first, you were probably going to find yourself asking, what the hell did they do to Sylvester Stallone's voice? And the answer would be that he didn't voice Victor in the game. I guess he cost too much. How could Clank possibly outrun Victor on legs that are no bigger than Victor's fingers? Victor should be able to outpace him in just a few strides.
Computer, set coordinates for the Galactic Ranger home base.
Not only is Clank's personality completely different from other killbots, he was also programmed to be a good guy and switch sides as soon as he was turned on. Is this a DreamWorks movie or something? All Ratchet is missing here is a fishing pole for the logo to be complete.
I'll never be a ranger.
Kids, if you ever fail at reaching your dream, just sit out under the stars at night and feel sorry for yourself. It's guaranteed that something that will turn your fortunes around will appear. Clank survives a crash landing from orbit and wasn't even wearing a seatbelt. Also, how does a robot get knocked unconscious?
5, 4,
3.
Why does the escape pod have a countdown self-destruct? That is the last feature you would ever build into an escape pod.
No vector shell damage. Sister board appears to be intact.
How can you tell any of that? You're just looking at his casing. At least open up a chest panel or something.
Maybe I'll just call you Clank. My name's Ratchet.
That's close enough for a roll credits.
I could not ask a civilian to get involved in something so dangerous.
No, I'm not just a civilian. The Rangers are actually my, friends. Why do you think I have so many pictures of them?
Clank actually falls for this and later doesn't call Ratchet on his lie even when it becomes obvious.
That's strange. I'm picking up something from Navalis.
It appears to be some sort of distress signal, but it is being jammed using a Blargian signal dampener.
Then how are you picking it up or know that it's a distress signal? Jamming implies that the signal is too scrambled to make out or even pick up. Apparently their sensors can pick up jammed distress signals, but not enemy ships that come up right behind them. There is no upside down in space, but Ratchet's ears clearly act like he's upside down right now. Ratchet and Clank survive another crash from orbit. Clank doesn't even need repairs after this one.
It's damaged, but I've fixed worse. Come on, maybe there's someone in town who can help us.
It crashed from orbit. You don't fix that, guys.
Hey, have we met before? Because I'm getting a touch of the old deja vu.
Haha, reboot jokes.
Well, I can't go anywhere until I get this here infobot into the hands of Captain Quark.
Well, there's your problem. You're trying to send a message for help by messenger robot to another planet light years away, rather than a digital message. What is the purpose of this video that Chairman Drek made that basically spells out his plans? He even states in it that the Galactic Rangers don't know he's coming, but this video is all about telling people that he's coming. I don't think using a wrench on a normal pole with no bolt to tighten is going to help fix your ship.
But first, they'd have to tackle a brain-eating zombie T-Rex.
Hey, wait a minute. I don't recall no brain-eating zombie T-Rex.
Yeah, but you're not the one telling the story. How do you know there was no such thing? Did you play the original game?
No problem. See you in the next reboot.
More fourth wall breaking reboot jokes. The funny thing is that that's not even the same voice actor from the original Ratchet and Clank. Single stick steering for dogfight sequences. Who thought that was a good idea? Crimson Skies, this is not.
I'm happy to field all questions on their behalf.
Dallas Wanamaker here. Does this mean you'll be asking these two heroes to join the Rangers?
What an oddly specific question to move the plot along.
Well, Drek didn't take too kindly to having his plan ruined by a Lombax and his robot pal. So he sent Blargian mercenaries to take them out.
It literally just happened though. They're still doing the press conference, and no one even noticed the guy sticking a bomb on the ship in the middle of it. Good thing their fall was softened by bouncing off that speeding train. Otherwise, I don't know how they would have survived that. Also, Clank was walking away from the impending explosion before Ratchet grabbed him and jumped off the ledge.
Look at this. They have my blaster runs hot. Fongoid with a stick. Oh, Spiro the Space Moose. They even have the Mega Limited Ultra Edition of Intransigence Fall of Blarg.
Actually, he just has posters on the wall. That is not that impressive considering you also had a wall full of Galactic Ranger posters back in your garage.
That one comes with exclusive content if you pre-ordered through Gadgetron.
Must have been developed by Ubisoft then. The only way this can possibly work is if you ignore everything we've come to know about how helicopters function.
That bomb has a 5-kiloton payload. Detonating it near the Hall of Heroes will be catastrophic.
A 5-kiloton explosion happening in the middle of the city will kill a whole lot of people. However, that apparently is not a huge concern. That was nowhere near a 5-kiloton explosion.
Ha! That's right, lives at home 472. What's the matter? Don't like getting your butt kicked?
Lady, you are playing single player in an older Ratchet and Clank game in first-person mode, not a multiplayer game. What the hell are you even going on about? Also, why the hell does a Ratchet and Clank game already exist in the Ratchet and Clank game that is the beginning of their saga? I'm a man who can appreciate a good sci-fi spandex ass shot, even on a character that isn't human, just as long as the proportions are all still there. But putting a nice ass on display in a game that resembles a lazy DreamWorks production just unsettles me. Can I play this 2D version of the game instead?
I can't believe it! Skid McMarks!
In my opinion, a good pun name isn't this obvious.
Here's your hoverboard.
Whoa, and it's autographed. To Ratchet and Clank, the chillest dudes I've ever hung out with on a hostile alien planet.
Where are you reading that? I don't see any writing anywhere on it. And you are not even looking down at the board while reading. Your eyes are straight ahead. I think the guy who paints climbable ledges went a little overboard with this game and its use of neon lighting.
Hey, you must be the two heroes who saved my client, huh? Don't tell me. Socket and Clink.
Ratchet and Clank.
Right, beautiful. Sprocket and Plank.
This joke only works if a person's name is difficult to say or the person just mishears them. In this case, Ratchet and Clank have names people would have no problem saying, and he clearly heard them pronounce it.
What's a rhino?
Sadly, this is what people will actually be asking in just a few decades.
Captain, did you know Drek's secret project was a Blargian snagglebeast?
It is. I wonder why it wasn't in any of my intel. I was expecting something much
At this point, Ratchet not being able to see through Captain Quark says more about him than anything evil Quark is doing.
Tell us what you know about Drek's plan.
I can give you this infobot.
He says this, but the infobot just talks about jetpacks and not Drek's plan.
You collect brains as a hobby? I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say you're single.
So are you.
The Star Watch defense cannon on planet Betalia. This surface-to-space ion cannon has been protecting the galaxy from invasions ever since we were first driven underground. With this out of commission, our glorious plan can continue.
A single stationary anti-aircraft cannon on a planet has been protecting the entire galaxy. I'm starting to think this game is just fucking with me.
My records show that the cannon is on the planet Betalia.
Your records? The infobot you just watched clearly stated that the cannon is located on Betalia.
We're at the defense cannon, but it looks like the system's on lockdown. We need to get this thing online, and fast.
But why though? This is the gun that protects the entire galaxy. Shouldn't it be one of the most protected and ready to fire weapons that you have? Well, the Blarg failed to destroy the cannon. I guess that means their plans had to be scrapped now. That is, unless this cannon wasn't really important to anything and it was all just hyperbole on the part of the game's writing.
Finest water supply in the galaxy. Initiate the hydro harvesters and sap this planet dry.
You are going to need a lot more of those ships if you plan to steal an entire planet's water supply. Also, Griff sent Ratchet a message about the Blarg stealing water, yet when Ratchet arrives, the Blarg have only just started stealing it.
This is so weird. The resemblance. It's...
Uncanny, I know.
Almost as if you have the same voice actor.
Grim asked us to help you destroy Drek's hydro harvesters.
If you're gonna destroy those things, we're gonna have to upgrade your ship.
Why though? It was more than capable of shooting down Blarg warships earlier. And these are just giant transparent tanks full of seawater.
Hey, Ratchet Clank! Small galaxy.
No, it isn't, which makes Ratchet running into you randomly like this incredibly unlikely.
You know they showed up just as I was about to speak on a panel about everything wrong with comic book-based holo films.
Listen, Big Al, wasn't it? There's already enough Sin Video channels these days. You're about 2 years too late for that train. And honestly, holo films are a pretty niche market anyways. Take my advice, start a Let's Play channel.
Do a barrel roll.
This is how you know when a meme is truly dead.
Wait, that's our plan?
Yes, it is.
Pardon me, Captain, but Chairman Drek is cunning. He will be prepared for our assault.
I would disagree with that statement, since Drek has basically given away his entire plan at this point by making a series of promotional videos. Also, why do you object to going in guns blazing in this one instance when every other situation in the game has you doing the exact same thing?
Ratchet to Rangers. I've landed in Core 2, but I ran out of jetpack fuel.
Why does Ratchet run out of jetpack fuel when the others don't? He jumped from the same ship at the same time as they did.
Novalis! He wants Novalis!
Novalis? Novalis is populated.
Yes, 43,618,924 people to be exact.
Remember that number. It will be useful for calling bullshit in a later sin.
These are plans for something called a deplanetizer.
Deplanetizer?
Why would Drek be destroying planets?
Not destroy. It seems that Drek is trying to build the perfect planet.
But wouldn't it be far simpler to just take over an existing planet and make that your new home?
Here's what we're going to do, Rangers. I'll go in first and try to reason with this Drek character. See if we can talk this out mano a mano.
Sir, he's blown up 5 planets already. I think we're done talking.
I'm with her. Drek is literally worse than Hitler at this point, which seems strange to say about a ridiculous cartoon alien, but that's billions of lives that are on his hands. Ratchet's ship was just destroyed, but we'll see that again later. I guess it's supposed to be funny that Clank is holding a Ratchet as a weapon, but Ratchet actually uses a Ratchet as a weapon. So shouldn't this be an actual effective weapon? This game liked that first Victor chase scene so much they use it again 6 hours later.
Fire suppression system activated.
Why isn't Clank being short-circuited by the sprinkler as well? They're both robots.
I deal with my share of morons on a daily basis, but this is seriously next level.
But he nearly stopped you. The only reason he failed is due to cutscene incompetence and you coming up behind him at the perfect moment.
I want him to live to see his failure.
Okay, didn't realize you had such a grudge against a guy you've never met before.
I felt a great disturbance in the Force, as if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced. I fear something terrible has happened.
Did I miss something? Why is Ratchet being ejected in a ship after he was captured? Shouldn't they be killing him now that he's seen his failure instead of letting him go? Also, he apparently watched the planet being destroyed while inside this ship, which is inside a hangar that has no view of the planet. I'm not sure why Quark is suddenly feeling remorseful. He had to know this was what the Blarg were planning when he joined them. And in fact, what they've already done multiple times.
The Navalians were able to evacuate in time, but billions lost their homes.
Actually, the population was 44 million, so billions didn't lose their homes. Also, how do you evacuate 44 million people in just a few minutes?
You helped Drek destroy a planet because you were jealous of Ratchet?
What exactly did he have to be jealous of, though? Ratchet just joined the Rangers not long ago. He hasn't made a name for himself yet.
Not my coolest moment, okay? I was confused. I thought I was doing the best thing for the galaxy.
By destroying an entire planet? How do you convince yourself that is best for everyone? What does that gain anyone except for the Blarg?
Hey, you were doing the best thing for you.
Nobody asked you, Solitary Bill.
This reoccurring joke about a guy locked in solitary confinement that keeps piping up during the story doesn't really make sense, since if he's in solitary confinement, he shouldn't be able to hear them or talk to them.
The evacuation of Novalis was successful. No one was killed or injured.
I want everyone who's watching this to pause the video and cough while saying bullshit.
But those people lost their homes. And for that, I have to take full responsibility.
Hero blames himself for something that is really not his fault cliché. I might have been sold more on this idea had millions of people actually died.
Blaming yourself and taking responsibility are two very different things. If you truly want to be accountable, you will endeavor to make things right the next time.
That was about a 3 on the motivational speech rating, but somehow it still convinces Ratchet to come back to the Galactic Rangers. That ship was destroyed while attacking the deplanetizer. What is it doing here in one piece?
His next target is Umbris.
The core of Umbris is pure tetragen. Detonating it would be disastrous. According to the Solana celestial calendar, there is a major conjunction of every planet in the system tonight. If Umbris is destroyed, it will take the entire system with it.
And somehow Drek isn't aware of this? If he destroys that planet, then his ship would be destroyed as well. Also, planets never align perfectly like that, and I don't really understand why that would make it easier to destroy the entire solar system.
Dr. Nefarious has just been using Drek. He wants the system destroyed under the Rangers' watch.
You're not wrong with that assumption, but what made you jump to it? You've only seen Dr. Nefarious in a video about jetpacks. What exactly makes you think he's pulling the strings?
Listen, Clank and I are on a mission to save the galaxy, and we need one of your hollow guises.
I'm afraid we're out of that product. We still have the prototype, but it's now a prize in our hoverboard competition.
What part of "we're on a mission to save the galaxy" do you not understand? You can't just give it to the guy trying to save your planet from a Blarg attack? You're gonna make him win a race first?
Do me a favor. When you use it, post your thoughts on the social medias. The kids love their social medias. Hashtag Gadgetron.
I'm starting to think that the original game is superior to the reboot since it came out before all the memes and social media website lingo that this game is shoehorning in.
I want to talk to you. You tried to kill my Rangers. You said you'd leave them alone.
Actually, he kind of just let them go.
I know you're working with Nefarious on this. You died in a prison escape.
You just finished telling Drek that you knew he was working with Dr. Nefarious. You shouldn't then be surprised that Dr. Nefarious is still alive and on the ship. It was a hell of a lot easier to land on the deplanetizer this time around.
I'm sorry. I don't know how things got this far.
I honestly don't know either. Your motivation for this was non-existent. What happened to the jetpack Quark was using during his fight with Ratchet and when he dodged Dr. Nefarious' shots? We never saw him lose it. Seems like that would have been helpful in this situation.
What's your hurry? I thought you wanted to be a hero.
Well, he did, but you don't know about that. This is the first time you've met him. I speak for everyone who's ever played this game when I say, fuck this boss fight. Fuck this boss fight in particular.
Quark!
Oh no.
I can't reach you in time! Just get out while you can!
Seriously, what happened to his jetpack? Would a teleporter still work if you pried it up from the ground like this?
Hey, you coming?
Absolutely.
Quark is responsible for the destruction of an entire planet. If you're just gonna let him off the hook for that, then why was he in prison in the first place?
That one comes with exclusive content if you pre-order through Gadgetron.